Welcome to Palace Insider, where the royal world's most shocking secrets get exposed.
There's no wick. Is that normal?
Are you serious?
Is that the thing?
There's
no wick.
I've had two people tell me that there was no wick when they ordered a candle.
There's literally no wick.
Are you kidding?
There's just one tiny problem with these fancy candles, and it's impossible to ignore. They don't have a wick, not a single one. This isn't a prank or some rare factory slip-up. It's happening again and again.
There's no wick again! Again! No way to light this thing!
Furious customers across the country are unboxing their pricey candles only to realize they can't even light them. When they reach out to customer service begging for a refund, guess what happens? Nothing. No reply, no refund, no explanation, just pure silence.
No. You guys... You guys, there's no wick. Wait, producer Kylie? There's no wick, right? Am I crazy? Where's the thing that I light?
Now this mess has exploded into the latest scandal tied to Meghan Markle's luxury lifestyle brand. And this time, it's not just bad headlines. There could be serious legal trouble brewing behind the scenes. The deeper this story goes, the weirder it gets. It all started when a few frustrated buyers posted online saying their candles arrived completely wickless. At first, nobody believed it. Some thought it had to be a joke, while others figured it was just one random mix-up, or maybe even someone exaggerating for attention. But then, more and more posts started flooding in. Dozens, then hundreds. Before long, it became obvious this wasn't an isolated slip-up. This was happening to lots of customers. And now, the whole brand is under fire. This isn't just a random mix-up. It's starting to look like a straight-up pattern of faulty products being sent to paying customers. That's where things start getting real uncomfortable.
Can you talk to me about your candle?
Oh, yes. I really wanted to bring this to the people. So I have a listener who has a family member that was working at Netflix for many, many years and just left. And I was gifted this gorgeous, as ever.
And here's the part that really makes people stop and stare. On the bottom of each candle, there's printed text that clearly says, "Always trim wick to 1/4 inch." That tiny line says a lot. It proves these candles are supposed to have wicks. This isn't some fancy wickless design made for warmers or showpieces. No way. These are regular candles, meant to be lit and enjoyed. Except, there's nothing to light. Some customers reported that their candles showed a clean little hole straight down the middle, like the wick was supposed to go there but never got added. Just an empty tunnel carved into the wax. Others said theirs were totally solid all the way through. No hole, no wick, just one solid block of wax sitting pretty in the jar.
Oprah loves the marmalade so much. It's a favorite of hers that came across totally organically.
And here's the kicker. These aren't cheap discount candles. We're talking about luxury-grade products. The kind that come wrapped in sleek boxes and are marketed as premium lifestyle must-haves. The kind of candles meant to make you feel fancy and proud to show off. That's what makes this whole situation sting even more. And wait till you hear the price tag. It'll make your jaw drop. These candles sell for a jaw-dropping $64 each.
There's nothing to light on the candle. This is like Meghan Markle's career. Failure to launch. Oh my God. Wait, this is not a joke. I ordered Meghan Markle's candle. There's nothing to light. I literally want a refund. Meghan Markle, send me a frickin' refund. So I paid. How much did I pay for this?
Yeah, luxury candles are totally a thing, and there's a real market for fancy home fragrances. But when someone's dropping $64 on a single candle, they expect pure quality. They expect craftsmanship, attention to detail, and something that feels worth every cent. What they don't expect is a $64 candle that literally doesn't work. For that price, you could grab a whole bag of candles from Bath & Body Works, candles that actually burn beautifully and fill your space with real scent. Or hit up HomeGoods or TJ Maxx and walk out with a handful of stylish, great-smelling candles that do their job without any drama. Even a single Yankee candle would light up your home perfectly, and you'd still have cash left over. But instead, customers put their trust in the Meghan Markle brand. They believed the hype, the sleek ads, the promise of something refined and elevated. Yet what they received left many of them stunned and asking the same question: what did we just pay for?
Meghan Markle always says she's known as the smart one and that her whole identity is wrapped up in being smart. we're still waiting to see that. Where's that smart identity? Like, was it smart to leave the royal family to go sell jams, jellies, dog biscuits, and wickless candles? Like, you could be royalty right.
Turns out, all they got was a ridiculously expensive paperweight. And somehow, it gets even more bizarre. The candle is marketed with the scent California Poppy, blended with a few other fancy notes to sound sophisticated. But here's the twist. People who actually live in California say poppies barely have any scent at all. Locals have spoken out, saying the state flower doesn't really smell like anything in real life. So not only do these candles not light, they don't even smell like what they claim. So even if these candles had a wick, people would still be burning $64 worth of wax scented like a flower that barely has any real smell. That alone makes people raise their eyebrows. But this mess goes way beyond annoying.
You had one job. Put the wick in the candle. We're not selling candles at Walmart. This is a luxury lifestyle brand.
This is where things start feeling shady, maybe even borderline illegal. When customers figured out their candles were defective, they did exactly what any normal buyer would do. They reached out for help. They emailed customer service, submitted refund requests through the official site, and followed every single step listed on the brand's page. They asked for replacements, they asked for refunds, and they tried to play by the rules. And what happened next? Absolutely nothing. Multiple reports claim that the brand's customer service is basically a ghost town.
Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, purchased a candle from a person he dislikes and received a candle without a wick in it.
Some buyers said they only got generic automated messages that led nowhere, while others never heard a single word back. Their refund requests were either flat out denied or just ignored completely. And here's where it really hits hard. According to multiple sources, the website has a strict no refund policy. So imagine this. You spend $64 on a so-called luxury candle. It shows up missing the one thing that makes it a candle. And you're told there's nothing they can do about it. That's it. No refund, no replacement, just a cold, "That's your problem." Tough luck. When you really stop and think about it, that's impossible to justify. Any legitimate brand facing a clear manufacturing problem that's affecting multiple paying customers would jump into action fast. Refunds would be processed, replacements would be shipped out, and sincere apologies would be made to protect the brand's name. That's basic customer service 101. That's how real businesses keep trust alive and protect their reputation. But instead, buyers are left holding these useless wax cylinders that can't even be lit, and with zero help in sight.
So you are not going to believe what happened when I opened the box, when I got back. There's no wick again. No way to light this thing. Seriously, look.
One frustrated buyer even documented their whole experience from start to finish. They went through the official website, clicked "Item arrived damaged," explained everything clearly, and attached photos. The only response they got back? A generic form asking for their order number. After that, radio silence. No answers, no solution, nothing. When you're selling luxury products at luxury prices, good customer service isn't optional. It's essential. Ignoring valid complaints doesn't just frustrate people. It breaks trust and bruises the brand's image hard. And scandals like this, they always circle back eventually. Now here's a twist that really changes the perspective on how this brand's products are being handled. A recent story popped up about a Netflix employee who was leaving the company. And what happened next adds a whole new layer to this already messy situation. So here's where things take a wild turn. A Netflix employee leaving the company said they were handed what was basically a trash bag full of leftover promo junk, random swag, unused merch, and items the company just wanted to toss out. And buried inside that bag, an as-ever candle. Let that sink in for a second. A major partner connected to Meghan Markle was literally giving these products away as leftover employee junk, not as premium gifts, not as valued merchandise, but as random clutter they needed to clear out.
Also, some desperate moves to sell as ever, and reviews coming in as apparently she's selling a candle without a...
That single detail says more than any polished marketing campaign ever could. And it gets worse. The candle found in that Netflix goodbye bag was also wickless. That means Netflix had these same faulty candles sitting around, realized they weren't worth keeping, and just dumped them into bags for departing employees to take home. No care, no thought, just get rid of it energy. That's the level of value they apparently placed on as-ever merchandise. All this happened right after Netflix officially cut ties with Love, Meghan, following what insiders called disastrous viewership numbers. Reports said the show ranked beyond number 1,200 on Netflix's charts. It was beaten by Downton Abbey reruns from over a decade ago. Even kids' cartoons with zero promotion were pulling better numbers. Netflix clearly wanted distance, and fast. When your biggest streaming partner starts quietly tossing your products into trash bags for employees leaving the company, that speaks volumes. They weren't treating these items as premium or even remotely valuable. They were just clearing space and moving on. Now here's the part that really doesn't add up, and it's raising even more questions about what's really going on behind the scenes. Meghan Markle has often described herself as someone with extreme attention to detail. She said she's deeply involved in every single part of her brand, proudly calling herself a hands-on entrepreneur who personally checks what goes out under her name. Her exact words? She said she has a freaky eye for detail, and she's repeated that more than once. So here's the big question. How are these candles being shipped out with no wicks? Not once, not twice, but over and over again across multiple orders from different customers. That's not a one-off accident. That's a full-blown pattern, and it raises some serious eyebrows.
Will it actually include the packaging? Because I'm hearing rumblings that another candle went out without a wick. Again, you have one job. What's going on with that?
If she's not actually involved in the quality control process, then all those public claims about being hands-on start to look completely fake. But if she is involved and somehow missed that her candles literally don't have wicks, then that freaky eye for detail line becomes really hard to believe. There's just no version of this story where she comes out looking competent. We're not talking about rocket science here. It's a candle. Candles have been made for thousands of years. The formula is simple: wax, fragrance, a container, and a wick. That's it. 4 things. And somehow, time and time again, one of those 4 essentials keeps going missing before the candles even leave the factory. That kind of mistake points to one of 2 things: either a serious manufacturing meltdown that nobody's catching, or something much bigger hiding behind the scenes. It's starting to look like this problem might have been known all along, and the products were still shipped out anyway, maybe hoping customers wouldn't notice or complain. That thought alone is wild. So now the big question is, what happens next? What are the real consequences when a so-called luxury brand sells defective products at high-end prices and refuses to issue refunds?
No.
Oh no.
I literally feel my throat closing. Oh my God. Orange marmalade.
Oh no.
Tastes like crap. I actually feel sick.
None of the possible outcomes look good for them. First up, the Federal Trade Commission. The FTC steps in when there are signs of deceptive or unfair business practices. Selling a candle that's literally missing the one thing that makes it a candle could easily fall under their radar. And if enough customers file official complaints, an investigation could very well be launched. Then there's the risk of a class action lawsuit. When tons of people are affected by the same defective product from the same company, they can team up and take legal action together. This exact situation checks every box for that kind of case. It's the kind of legal nightmare brands usually try hard to avoid. And third, let's not forget the Better Business Bureau. The BBBB might not have legal authority, but a flood of customer complaints can crush a brand's reputation fast. A bad rating sticks around. It becomes a permanent public record that follows the company wherever it goes. And this is where the bigger picture really starts coming into view. Because it's not just about one bad candle or a handful of upset customers anymore. It's about how the entire brand reacts when things go wrong. Or in this case, how it's choosing not to respond at all. When customers drop premium cash, they expect premium accountability. That means admitting mistakes, fixing problems fast, and treating buyers with real respect. But what's happening here? It's the total opposite. Silence instead of solutions, automated messages instead of genuine help, and a policy that replaces basic common sense. And now, people are starting to talk loud about it. Online discussions aren't just about the missing wicks anymore. They're about trust. Once customers begin questioning whether a brand actually stands behind its products, that's when the damage starts spreading like wildfire. And in today's world, word travels fast. especially when people feel ignored, dismissed, or treated like they don't matter. Luxury branding isn't only about the product, it's about the full experience. It's about how the customer feels before, during, and after that purchase. It's emotion, reputation, and perception all rolled into one. And right now, that whole experience looks completely shattered. From wickless candles showing up on doorsteps to a customer service team that's gone quiet, the cracks are showing everywhere, and they're impossible to hide. And what makes this entire situation even more risky? The insane price tag attached to these so-called luxury items. When you're charging high-end prices, your margin for error basically disappears. Customers paying luxury rates are way less forgiving. One mistake that might slide with a cheaper brand becomes a full-blown scandal when people feel like they paid for excellence but got carelessness instead. And that's exactly what's happening here. This whole situation also brings up some big behind-the-scenes questions. Who's actually running production? Who's approving these shipments? And who's handling customer support when things go wrong? These aren't small details. They're the backbone of any legit business. If those systems aren't strong, no fancy branding or celebrity name can hide the cracks for long. And let's be real, this brand doesn't exist in some quiet corner of the market. It's tied to one of the most talked about public figures in the world. That means every tiny misstep gets amplified, every customer complaint gets louder, and every bad review hits harder. When your name alone is what drives the sales, your reputation is the product. And once that reputation starts to crack, sales follow fast. We've seen this movie before. Brands that launch with massive hype, huge media buzz, and a flood of influencer backing. But skip the groundwork that actually matters. Once that spotlight fades, what's left is the product itself. And if that product doesn't deliver, no amount of storytelling or glam packaging can save it. At the end of the day, customers aren't asking for anything outrageous. They're not chasing clout or special treatment. They just want what they paid for. Candles that actually work, and refunds when they don't. When products show up defective, customers aren't asking for much. They just want to be acknowledged. That's the bare minimum any decent company should do. Instead, what they're getting is straight-up frustration and total silence. And here's the thing. Frustration doesn't just fade away. It turns into official complaints, credit card chargebacks, and even legal action. Once that door opens, the costs start piling up fast. This whole mess could have been handled quietly and professionally early on. A product recall, a simple public statement, a few refunds, or even a slight policy change. Any of those steps could have stopped this situation from spiraling out of control. But by ignoring the problem completely, the brand let it grow unchecked. And now, it's no longer just a customer service issue. It's a full-blown credibility problem. And once credibility slips, it's almost impossible to rebuild. As more people start sharing their stories online, the pressure keeps climbing. Regulators start watching for patterns, lawyers start crunching numbers, and consumers start paying attention to how a brand behaves when it thinks no one's watching. And make no mistake, this story isn't wrapping up anytime soon. If anything, it's just heating up and entering its next phase. Beyond federal investigations, there's another layer of risk that people often forget about: state-level consumer protection laws. Many states have tough rules against selling defective products or denying refunds, and depending on where this company operates and where its customers live, that could open a whole new can of legal trouble. This situation could easily trigger violations in multiple states, and that alone can flip a bad business move into a major legal nightmare. And if that wasn't enough, here comes the next big problem: chargebacks. When customers go to their credit card companies to dispute a charge after getting defective products, the merchant doesn't just lose the sale, they get slapped with extra fees too. If enough of those chargebacks start piling up, payment processors can step in and pull the plug completely. That means the brand would lose the ability to process online payments altogether. And for a business that runs almost entirely on direct-to-consumer sales, that's not just bad news. That's game over. The legal risk here isn't some distant theoretical threat. It's real, it's immediate, and it's serious. This mess has gone way beyond a public relations issue. We're talking about the kind of damage that hits the financial core of a company and lingers for years. And yet, despite everything falling apart right now, new reports claim Meghan Markle is actually planning to expand her as ever brand into the UK market. Yes, really. The same brand that's struggling to ship functional candles, the same one refusing refunds for defective products, and the same line of merchandise Netflix reportedly treated like disposable junk is now apparently gearing up for a major international push. According to insiders, Meghan reportedly believes she can grab a meaningful piece of the UK jam and lifestyle market, aiming to go beyond just candles. She's said to be confident that once British consumers get a taste of her products, they'll embrace the brand with open arms. But considering everything happening now, that's a seriously bold gamble. That belief sounds completely disconnected from reality. Meghan Markle's popularity in the UK has dropped drastically. She's far less admired there than in the US, and even in America, her approval isn't exactly soaring. The British public has made their feelings crystal clear, and it's not looking good. On top of that, there's the legal environment to think about. The UK has way tougher consumer protection laws than the US. Refund rights are crystal clear, enforcement moves quickly, and penalties hit harder. If defective products were sold there and refunds denied, legal action would come fast and cost plenty. Then there's the competition, a major challenge on its own. The UK market is already packed with established brands that have loyal buyers and solid reputations. That includes Highgrove, the line connected to King Charles, known for its premium quality and real heritage. Competing in that space isn't about having a famous name. It's about building trust, delivering consistency, and selling products that actually work. The idea that this brand could dominate any market right now, while still struggling to ship basic functional candles and ignoring customer complaints, just doesn't line up with reality. Expansion doesn't erase problems, it magnifies them. Trying to grow while the foundation is cracking underneath only makes the collapse hit harder. So where does that leave us ever right now? The Wickless candle fiasco isn't some random hiccup. It's just the newest entry in a long list of setbacks. We've seen reports of sold-out products followed by canceled orders, ongoing quality issues across different items, and of course, the collapse of the Netflix partnership that was once hyped as the big break for the brand. At this point, it's starting to look less like bad luck, and more like a pattern that's impossible to ignore. At a certain point, all these mistakes stop looking like bad luck. They start looking like a pattern. And once something becomes a pattern, that's when regulators, lawyers, and consumers start circling in. Patterns mean accountability is coming, and second chances don't last forever. Patience wears thin, and consequences always arrive, sooner or later. Charging $64 for a candle that doesn't even light, refusing refunds, and ghosting customers who just want answers, that's not luxury branding. That's a massive red flag waving in plain sight. When a brand built on the image of elegance and detail starts crumbling over something as basic as a wick, it makes you wonder what else is being overlooked behind the scenes. So the real question now is, can Az ever actually survive this scandal? Will there be real legal fallout, or will it all quietly disappear like so many other celebrity brand disasters? Because right now, trust is shattered, customers are furious, and the internet isn't letting go of this story anytime soon. Reputation is everything in the luxury world, and once it cracks, rebuilding it can take years. Sometimes it never happens at all. When people spend their hard-earned money, they expect respect, honesty, and products that actually work, not excuses wrapped in fancy packaging. So tell me, knowing what you know now, would you still trust this brand with your money? Would you still drop $64 on a candle that might show up wickless? Or does this feel like the final blow to a brand that promised class but delivered chaos? If you've got thoughts on this wild situation, drop them in the comments below. Do you think Az ever can bounce back, or is this the end of the road? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more explosive breakdowns just like this. Because trust me, this story is only getting started.